Module 4 examines the socio-emotional development in middle and late childhood. There are significant changes in the development of self-concepts, emotions, moral reasoning, and gendered behavior. During the elementary school years, children increasingly recognize the social aspects of the self. They develop self-concept, the domain-specific evaluations of the self, and self-esteem, the global evaluations of the self. Erik Erikson's fourth stage of development addressed how these changes affect the child. Known as industry versus inferiority, he believed that children have the need to be productive and do their own work. At the same time, children show growing awareness of the need to control and manage their emotions to meet social standards. Children learn to negotiate pride and shame, detect that many emotions can be experienced in a particular situation, evaluate the circumstances that lead to an emotional reaction, improve the ability to suppress or conceal negative emotions, and use self-initiated strategies to redirect feelings. Research revealed that school personnel and others need to address the emotional issues for all children, particularly for those who live in poverty. During middle and late childhood, moral development increases. Kohlberg believed that moral development consists of 3 levels: pre-conventional, conventional, and post-conventional, with 2 stages at each level. Kohlberg maintained that these age-related stages influence cognitive development, imitation, cognitive conflict, peer relationships, and perspective taking. Gilligan criticizes Kohlberg's work and advocates a stronger care perspective, claiming the biased aspects of Kohlberg's work and that he failed to account for children's relationships. Other criticisms focus on the inadequacy of moral reasoning to predict moral behavior or to account for the intuitiveness of moral thought, the role of emotion, and cultural and family influences. On a related note, the domain theory of moral development states that there are different domains of social knowledge and reasoning, including moral, social, conventional, and personal. For example, William Damon described how sharing develops. At about 4 years of age, empathy contributes to sharing, and by the start of elementary school years, children express objective ideas about fairness. During middle and late childhood, there is a pervasive influence of gender on development. Gender stereotypes continue to change during middle and late childhood. Even though researchers noted that boys and girls are similar, more than they are different on measures of cognitive and social emotional development, girls are more people-oriented and boys are more things-oriented. Boys may be more physically aggressive and girls tend to engage in rapport talk, the language of conversation, and a way of establishing connections and negotiating relationships. It is always important to think about gender in terms of context. Researchers examine reciprocity and peer interchanges during middle and late childhood. Using the term nominate to define friendships, researchers note that popular children are frequently nominated as best friends and are rarely disliked. Average children receive an average number of positive and negative nominations. Neglected children are rarely nominated as best friends and are actively disliked. Controversial children are frequently nominated as friends, but they're also disliked. The rejected children, as one can imagine, are especially at risk for a number of social and emotional problems. The friendships that are formed from these nominations serve 6 functions: companionship, stimulation, physical support, ego support, social comparison, and intimacy or affection. Social information processing skills and social knowledge are 2 important dimensions of social cognition in peer relationships. Not all relationships are positive. Significant numbers of children are victims of bullies, resulting in short and long-term negative effects for all concerned. On a final note, schools respond to socio-emotional changes by analyzing contemporary teaching and socio-cultural diversity. Schools use both the constructivist and the direct instruction approaches, with opportunities for students to think in critical and constructive ways. Similarly, legislation of the No Child Left Behind Act suggested that children should have grade-level content knowledge and skills during middle and late childhood and beyond.